Okay, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Hope you guys are all doing well. Been a little bit since I posted anything on YouTube. But yeah, this is actually probably going to be, I believe this is the lowest damage game that I've ever posted onto YouTube, at least from myself personally. Um, However, this is going to be a game where I know that this has happened before, but it's a pretty rare ending. So we've got a full video here for you guys today. So in this game, I'm in the Scharnhorst. And keep in mind, this is even though this is the lowest damage game that I've ever posted onto YouTube, this is still going to be an expert badge game in the Scharnhorst for me. I'm here divvied up with Mr. GameWiz. GameWiz and I go way far back, back into the Fog days. We've been on competitive teams together. Still a member of PSV. If you guys know, then you know. So he was a competitive player, and just recently, within like the past week, has started playing the game again with me to help me out here from time to time, and we'll see what happens in the future. So him and I are playing together. He's in a KGV. I'm in a Scharnhorst. We've got tier 8 MM, 3 submarines, 1 DD, some cruisers, and 4 battleships. Okay, MM minus the submarines. I think you all know how I feel about that, but whatever. So that's what we got. We're on Trapped in domination mode. Already something's capping Charlie. Myself and GameWiz are going up towards Charlie. Our Z23 is gaming in this particular game, and I don't know, whatever. I'm kind of wondering why you're in a Z23. There's a Kagero on the ME team, probably mirrored spawns. Why you wouldn't be a little bit more aggressive there? Yeah, that's just my take on that. That's my TED talk. We've already got San Diego that's been spotted over there, New Orleans, and a Gneisenau heading to Alpha with something already capping Alpha. That's not the New Orleans or the Gneisenau, so there's at least 3 in Alpha. San Diego spotted in the middle. This spread from these PEDs coming in is going to indicate that that's more than likely one of the submarines there. The Hoega has been spotted, and the Warspite's also in the middle at Bravo. So what I'm going to kind of do here, since unfortunately my Zed is a little bit passive, I'm actually going to do what the Scharnhorst is intended to do. That's push. Especially the Scharnhorst 43 with the speed boost. I'm going to push, and I'm going to try my best to, I don't know, instill some courage in my team, or at least, use my knowledge of the game to hopefully, tank shots effectively and still give my team a chance to get in there. Hopefully push out the Kagero and whatever else is over there. San Diego's just plopping off over there. Unfortunately, we've already lost the Molotov, which is definitely a solid ship at tier 6. Would have been nice, especially with this MM. I'm sure he was probably okay. The Kagero's been spotted. Hey, little Kagero, there's a Rampart that's been spotted as well. Kager spotted. Shifting around through there. We also have a Helena over here. And our Zed now behind the island. So that is what it is. I'm pinged here. I'm going to put some stuff there. I'm not going to worry about the ping, because as long as I can get behind these islands, these torpedoes aren't going to do anything to me. That's my plan here. But once we come up around the islands, we're gonna let her rip. And again, try to get the team going. My dibmate is over there. Justin's kind of trying to, or GameWiz is trying to hold off the Bravo push there a little bit more effectively, which he can do from that angle. I'm just over here to try to secondary push out the Kagero, which he's kind of already out, and we'll go from there. I'm going to shoot the Veneto. That man is going to be the bane of me a little bit later. Him and I we're in for one heck of a fight a little bit later. See how that goes. Alright. Veneto, whatever yo is over there. Secondaries are there. DD's been spotted. Unfortunately, the Scharnhorst just doesn't have enough range on my my drops there. So yeah, we'll see. I'm over here shooting this Santiago, and my div mate blaps him, and then I finish him off. I now know that the sub's up in this area over here, so I'm still in the cap, trying to rally the troops together. Let's guys, let's do the stuff and the things, and let's go. Just some Make-A-Wish drops there on the, the submarine there. Highly doubt that they hit. Trying to help cap this, and that's gonna be huge too. I posted the screenshots from this in Full Metal's Discord. Full Metal Yankee, shout out for Full Metal Yankee, and his comment was like, hey, it's important to get those caps. And it is important to get caps, and I think if I don't make some of these plays, I think our team's just sitting behind islands. And again, kind of goes to knowing your boat, right? I know what I can do in the Scharnhorst and how I can help out my team best. And sometimes you got to play a little bit outside the role, right? Still with inside the role, Scharnhorst does well in a situation like this, but traditionally a battleship isn't going to be like the one that's trying to spot and do stuff for your team, right? But nonetheless, we're here. I'm going to eat these speeds. Whatever. I'm more worried about my angling to that Veneto. While still trying to get shots off on the Warspite to get the cap resets. I'm now going to turn in and around. I'm going to eat some more beads because, balance class and whatnot. The Remhat is there. I eat some more peds, and guarantee I'm getting torpedoed right now. But we've got a little trick I learned here for when that happens, and it's coming up in 2 seconds. So he probably beat me there, so I'm gonna hit my speed boost, and I'm gonna stay at this angle because I know that there's probably torps there. So I hit the speed boost solely to just dodge these peds, and then I'm just gonna go at the man and say I'm more gooder secondaries, go burr or something, and then go from there. Getting some more drops on the submarine, looking to reset the Remhat. My front guns here, I'm a little panicky with this. Not the best aim there for me from the front guns. Back guns a little bit better. We still get to sit in the kill though. If any of you guys ever played the Scharnhorst, the Desperto can be a little bit wonk. And of course too, okay, so killed that. We got this guy up here. Looking back now, I probably shouldn't have dropped that, and the reason's going to be pretty apparent if you guys missed it or are now seeing it. There's another creature in here, which is a tad bit unfortunate. Which means that could be stalling, or at the very least I'm going to be permanently spotted. So cool, yay, submarines. So yeah, that's there. He's doing stuff to me. I get a pretty good depth charge on him. However, his ping was a little bit late, so those peds weren't really reacting to his ping. Hooray for me. So, gonna get another depth charge off on him. And I should have pushed those up a little bit farther, because I know what he's doing here. I know that there's going to be booty torps coming at me. So knowing that, I'm going to continue my turn, and now make these a little bit more appropriate here. So yeah, there are the booty torps. Still have a Belfast and Veneto, and that Kagero was still last spotted over there. However, that was a long time ago. So we get the sub kill. I don't get the sub kill. The Kansas does. But I'm like, what the hell? It's blocked. So I'm thinking, okay, well the Kagero's over here, which is kind of a bummer. But then I'm looking at my cruisers, going, well, how the hell did they not spot him? So he's got to be up here. So I'm pushing on an angle, knowing that the Kagero's probably right there, and we get some. This should have been a one-shot in the Kagero. You're going to see just how pathetic it was that it wasn't. I still want to work over the Belfast and the Veneto. I know that I'm going to be having Pete's there. It would have been nice if that sub would have just proxy spotted that Kagero instead of staying underwater for him, but you know, whatever. That is what it is. So now I'm thinking, okay, well, he's in smoke. My sub's not going to spot him. So unfortunately for me, I need to get my butt moving because I probably have Pete's coming at me. Hey! So there are the Pete's. I think I got a pretty good angle on them. I'm going to switch my secondary focus here onto the Kagero. Just picked up a fire. So secondary is on the Kagero. Of course, Wonky Desperto from the Scharnhorst says no. So I'm hoping that my secondaries just kill this man. Looks like they should. And they do. We still don't have the cap. Is what it is. I don't know, whatever. I'm going to go back into the cap because the Venito does not have shots on me anymore, so I can still hopefully try to help my team cap a little bit quicker. We've got Mr. Row Your Boat in the Harbin over here capping. And of course there's another creature that has entered the game. Because, you know, why wouldn't there be? So, going to have to deal with another submarine. And yeah, that's fun. My div mate since then has rotated over. He was definitely putting on the work there in the middle and is rotating over. Again, thinking back to, you know, Full Metal's comment when I posted this replay or this screenshot in his Discord, you know, caps are important. And that's what Justin and I, or Gamewaz and I are talking. Sorry for calling you by your first name there, Gamewaz, twice now. By the way, I should have used my heal here to just increase that because I just procced the thingy there. But that's what Gamewaz and I are talking about right now. I think I can kind of tank this. Unfortunately, the sub's going to make it difficult for me. And he's going to go and get to Alpha. By the way, with the replay bug, these are swapped. So these are swapped, and you'll see that at the end. I don't know. Wish that would get fixed. But whatever. It is what it is. Our submarine, unfortunately, is way out of position. Kind of in Narnia over here doing nothing. Mr. Poi 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 gets blapped by the Belfast. I'm not sure why he came out of his smoke there. Maybe to spot. Maybe he's trying to help. Whatever. That's all. What it is. There's the creature. So my guns aren't even loaded, but we'll get some drops onto them. I whiffed on the Nizen out there because, no, we're having fun in the Scharnhorst. And we'll continue shooting the Venito. My div mate is shooting the Belfast there. And now the Belfast has said, no, that scares me. I'm going to smoke. Getting some more Make-A-Wish depth charges there. But as you can see, the man was just there, and now somehow he's like rotated over 7 kilometers because ping indicators work more gooder. Balance. So yeah, that's the thing. Still getting chased down by the sub. At one moment, the sub decides to just get up here and start capping, which is probably what he just should have done. But I get a flood on him here, and I think he gets a little scared, and then decides to not cap here. I honestly think if that sub would have just stayed there and capped, things might have turned out differently for them. And keep that in mind when you guys, when we get to the end of the game there. So there's my Confed there. Again, on 3 kills, we're amassing all of the ribbons. Trying to really help out my team here. I think we've done a good job, even though for me personally, this isn't like a huge Scharnhorst game. My div mate is picking up Alpha, which is something we need. And at the same time, he's going to then kind of position himself in a spot where he can get shots into this Venito. Still getting some hits there. That was actually kind of solid for the Scharnhorst. I just need to kite this Finito now. Looking at the points, we need to catch up on points. This is actually switched, so keep that in mind. This is switched. That's not what it is. It's a replay bug. So we need to catch up on points. We have all the caps, minus the fact that they're currently taking that cap with the Belfast. So I just need to keep my little booty moving and stay at an angle where I can get some bounces and ricochets from this Finito, which is kind of what I've been doing here. The Submarino's still back in the fray over here somewhere. Who knows? Again, just throwing out some Make-A-Wish depth charges there. I switched to HE for a second. As you can see, my div mate's in a KGV. So, and by the way, we got very, very low on HP there. We were down to like 1k for a moment. So, keep that in mind too with this game. And with what I'm having to do and how I'm trying to have to approach the game and micromanage every little movement on my keyboard here. So that I'm doing the best that I can to mitigate damage. I know I did a video where I showcased Dab. Kind of doing a good job of, you know, angling his armor effectively and trying to keep this. This is kiting. For those of you guys that go, hey, the game's over, I'm just going to throw away my ship and YOLO. This is kiting. This is how you can still keep your team in games and potentially win games while still actively doing damage to the enemy team. I was never going to go dark here with that sub trailing me. So this is what I need to do. Again, something that, you know, if I'm not kiting here, game ends differently. That's going to be a permanent fire in the Finito. My div mate switches to HE at the angle. In the KGV, picks up another fire. That is a dead Finito. Okay, so now what to do? The Belfast is going towards my div mate after picking that up. That submarine is not spotted, but he has been trailing me like the whole time. The Gneisenau just went dark, which is leading me to indicate or think that the Gneisenau is at least competent enough to look up at the points and see kind of how this game's going, that we actually are still kind of in it. So if he's any sort of, you know, an intelligent Gneisenau player, which he does have 3 kills, it'd be wise for him to head to Charlie. So I'm going to make my way up and try to contest Charlie on the sliver of health that I have. So that's going to be the plan here. We'll see how it goes. Again, I know that there's a sub somewhere there, so that's why I'm trying to take the quickest route possible to Charlie. We'll talk about what happens there. Belfast is opening up on my div mate here. There are 1 or 2 salvos here from GameWiz and I think the Belfast player even acknowledged it should have been absolutely just annihilated. And for whatever reason, RNG just said no. We don't want you to win. And that's kind of what ended up happening. So yeah, unfortunately, that's going to be an interesting fight down there, and we'll see what happens. Oh, I'm getting pinged. Cool, awesome. So, again, he's not spotted. I'm not spotted, so he's pinging me with whatever radio location witchcraft that the submarines get. I get a fire and a flood. That would be awesome, because, hey, I should be able to see an oil slick. Dag nabbit, he repaired it. So, whatever, that's not going to happen. So let's just throw out another Make-A-Wish depth charge there. The Gneisenau was a smart enough player. He is in Charlie. I need to potentially get a reset here. So, yeah, we'll see how this all goes and goes down here in a moment. We're still up on points. However, GameWiz goes down to the Belfast. So, that puts them right behind in points. I need a reset. I need to put time here. I need to hit these shots. I need a reset first before we talk about anything else. Don't need them to flip that cap. There's still enough time. I get the reset. I get a huge reset. I take some damage. I try slowing down to make my turn a little bit tighter. Negate that. We're alive. Whew! Alright. 18 seconds left. Cool. Up on points. Kind of. The Belfast got into Alpha, so if I didn't get those resets, that would have been a loss. 4 seconds. 3. HP partially restored. Cool. Shoot the Alliance. Come again? I die? But it's a victory. That was a crazy, crazy ending. Yeah, that's one of those rare games where everyone on the winning team died. Everyone. This team, hats off to them. That came literally down to the last tick. Again, if I don't get those resets there, they probably win that game. Myself and GameWiz both put in work here, considering, this is mid-tier. It's a tier 6 to 8 game. We're in tier 7s. He's just a hair shy under a 2.2k base. I'm just a hair shy under 2.5k. However, kind of what is interesting too, and I went back in the detailed report, we hit almost every boat. I did some sort of form of damage to almost all the boats but one boat. Which is kind of crazy. However, it was what was needed. The only boat I believe I did not touch in this game was the Hoyoga, and he was one of the first battleships out and on the other flank. Otherwise, every single boat here I touched. Again, it was the Scharnhorst, so it wasn't like I was doing huge amounts of damage to him, but this was a game where we called it a night after this because it wasn't going to get any better, and even getting to the point where the carry potential was maximized there, I'd say. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That is going to be one of those rare games where everyone on the winning team dies. It happens. It is rare when it happens, but it does happen. So awesome game. Again, thank you to GameWiz for the games as well there. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys take something out of that. Can see how sometimes you need to, for lack of a better word, or phrase rather, instill courage in your team and motivate the troops to get going. But then at the same time, realizing what needs to be done to win. Knowing I need caps, I've got to work over these destroyers, I've got to work over the subs, even though that might not be ideal for me. I'm in a situation where I have to do that. And then, hey, I'm still alive. I'm not doing well. But then having the wherewithal to then kite out. So that is something to keep in mind. And I try to say this every now and then on my stream, you're not always, in the best position to do a lot for your team, but you're always still in the game, right? And that's what I was trying to do there at the end of that game. And hopefully you guys can see that. Again, I'll be on here in a few minutes on Twitch. I'm going to upload this to YouTube, so if you guys see this at the end of this or whatever, come hang out with me on Twitch, and I'll be on for the rest of the weekend. But anywho, hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your week. Great weekend, and thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the replay. Catch y'all later. See ya.